Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Frankly Speaking with Vibhuti Jha. This week has been a tumultuous week, a very happy week, a remarkable week for India and all Indians all over the world. A couple of things happened, and that is a really, really big thing to happen. That is, Kashmir is actually now part of the entire India, and we can safely say Kashmir to Kanyakumari, tak India ek hai. That has been a remarkable thing to happen. And I know that all of us, the entire Indian community and people around the world are quite aware now of Article 370, 35A, which had been a mysterious concept so far, as if it was an inseparable element with Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is now a settled matter. People now know the nuances, the impact it had on the people of Jammu and Kashmir. In my opinion, and this is something which we talk about in our program is Frankly Speaking, it was a wonderful psychological operation that a state which has 56% of the population landmass in Ladakh was known as Jammu and Kashmir. But Ladakh was never mentioned there. Why not known as JKL? Jammu is larger than Kashmir, but it was known as Jammu and Kashmir. In reality, in effect, everybody thought Kashmir meant the entire region. That particular myth is now settled. Ladakh is a union territory now, which will have its own repercussions on the entire region and the country as a whole. 35A is gone. So we will today focus on the conversation with my panel, who I'm going to introduce in a minute, is about the impact and implication of this change that has happened. So we have heard a lot of emotion go down under the bridge, a lot of water has flown, a lot of emotion, protests, joys and happiness all over the world. Let's talk about the impact and implication this particular measure has for India, its neighbors and the world around us. To discuss this matter, I have great pleasure in welcoming three of ITV's most popular guests who have been here before. So I don't need to formally introduce you. You know the names. So great pleasure to welcome Junaid Qazi ji.
Namaskar.
Junaid ji, you have been a very interesting person I know for a very long time. And you had been a Congress activist. Now you left Congress, joined BJP. And you showed me that you congratulated Mr. Amit Shah, and Amit Shah ji sent you a personal message thanking you for your good wishes. So it will be interesting to hear your perspective on this matter. The other person is Dr. Sharma. Dr. Sharma has been on my program several times. He is from Haryana, but he has family roots in Kashmir, and he's very emotionally involved in the whole thing. Dr. Sharma, welcome to the program.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much for coming today. And we have Nilima Madan. Nilima ji is very active in the BJP organization in the US, and we welcome her to hear the points of view that one can expect in terms of the organization ability of BJP to withstand the criticism and what are we doing here. So let's begin this conversation with Junaid ji that Article 370 to gaya. इसकी सबसे बड़ा impact आपके नज़र में, what is the most important impact of this element taking place?
Thank you विभूति भाई. It's एक हिंदुस्तान का हम लोग जब से बच्चे थे तब से समझते आ रहे थे आर्टिकल 370 क्या है और समझ में नहीं आया, लेकिन हमेशा आप जो बोल रहे थे कश्मीर से कन्याकुमारी तक, ये तो हमको बचपन से मालूम था. तो कश्मीर वॉज द पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. आई नेवर थॉट जब हम बच्चे थे कि कश्मीर अलग स्टेट है या डिफरेंट टेरिटरी है. तो कश्मीर वॉज द पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया ऑलवेज, और अभी भी हर इंडियन के दिमाग में ये है. लेकिन वो 370 का जो दिमाग था कि स्पेशल कैरेक्टर है उस स्टेट को, स्पेशल उसको एड मिलती है फाइनेंशियली, तो वो जनता के, भारत की जनता के दिमाग में एक चीज़ बसी हुई थी, वो अब क्लियर हो गई. 370 हो गई. 370 ख़त्म होने से 35A भी ख़त्म हो गया. और जब मुझे ये समझ में ये नहीं आता कि जब कश्मीर पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया था और सारे कश्मीरियों के पास इंडियन पासपोर्ट है, तो अब ये हटने से और ना 370 हटने से तकलीफ़ क्यों हो रही. भाई आप इंडियन हैं, आप सब बोलते हैं इंडियन हैं और इंडियन पासपोर्ट है, आप जाके तमिलनाडु में भी काम कर रहे हैं, दिल्ली में ही प्रॉपर्टी ले रहे हैं और सारी चीज़ें कर रहे हैं, तो ये हिपोक्रेसी डबल स्टैंडर्ड जो ख़त्म हो गया, बहुत अच्छा हुआ। अब नाउ मैं चाहता हूँ कि भारत में जो एक बचपन से मतलब बरसों से ये एक इशू चल रहा था कश्मीर का और राम मंदिर का, ये दोनों ख़त्म हो जाए तो फिर कंट्री जो है फोकस डेवलपमेंट की तरफ चले। इसके अलावा राम मंदिर भी होना चाहिए और 370 ख़त्म हो गए। अब नाउ जितनी भी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज़ हैं, दे शुड फोकस एम्प्लॉयमेंट, दे शुड फोकस इंडिया की ग्रोथ के लिए और इंडिया की पूरी कंट्री सबका साथ सबका विकास लेने का टाइम अब मोदी जी का अब आया है, ये दोनों फार्मूला ख़त्म होने के बाद।
Thank you very much. And this is very important because of more than one reason. Now, Kashmir had been, everybody knew about 370, but there are many economic implications and political implications of the article, which prohibited a region within the country that had separate set of rules to govern. And there were two prime ministers, two flags, two constitutions. Where will the integration happen? So, Dr. Sharma, here is a very interesting thing which I have been aware of, but never got a chance to talk about it, is that in the center-state sharing of resources, every other state had 70% amount of that central used to give was in the form of a debt. 30% was grant. In the case of Kashmir, it is 30% as debt and 70% as grant, which never has to come back. Kashmir had always been suffering that there is unemployment, youth unemployment, economic growth. ये सब कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. But the root of it all was that the leadership in Kashmir did not do anything instead other than just becoming rich themselves. Your thoughts on that?
Mr. Jha, before I say anything about Kashmir, I just want to take a minute to pay my condolences to Mrs.
I was going to do that. I'm going to do that
Yes.
at the end of this segment.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. Yeah.
So let me come back to Kashmir issue. As Junaid said already, Kashmir has been part of India since 1947. And I don't think we need to get confused here. In fact, if you look at United Nations Charter, entire Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh, including POK, including Akshay Chin, is part of India. When Maharaja Hari Singh signed IOA, he did not say, please take only Jammu and Kashmir. He actually gave the entire state, which has been divided into three different parts now. Half of us within India, about 30% with Pakistan and 20% occupied by China. As far as I remember, Kashmir has been part of India because I've been there 4 times and no one ever asked me about the passport. So I could cross from Pathankot to Jammu and Srinagar without answering any question. Only difference has been that J&K has been given special status. That's what Article 370 is. And other major difference is 35A, which did not allow people to get residency of J&K. Besides that, there has been no issue. Yes, when you say what impacts it will have, we all know that J&K was actually nothing but an Islamic state within India. What do I mean by that? If you look at the charter that Nehru had signed, it clearly says that J&K Vidhan Sabha has to be Muslim in nature. That was number one. Number two, all the women were given second-class treatment in J&K, because if they married someone outside J&K, they would lose their property rights, and the person they marry could not get residency of J&K, which is again part of Islamic culture. And number three, minorities were never given minority rights. Article 29 and 30 of Indian Constitution says that minorities must get their rights. In J&K, minority means Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Ladakhis. They were never given minority rights. In fact, their money was taken from them and given to majority, which is Sunni Muslims. and the impact that will have is exactly the opposite of what has been happening.
That's wonderful. Now, Nilima ji, there was one thing which I wanted. You are a BJP activist and you have done a lot of work for BJP. From the US perspective, now that you are here, we can't do much back home. But here I have come to know of protests being organized against this move. And I know that somebody has written an article, Modi's tyranny will have repercussions on Indian subcontinent because of the tyranny word used by some writer in one of the magazines. My question is that what should or what ought to BJP organization in this part of the world must do to confront, address and deny or challenge the false narrative that is being built by people like you and I. They are Indians, Hindus, doesn't matter, but they're Indians who are doing this deliberately. What will you as a party do, as an individual, and what must NRIs do to confront that challenge?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. Since you talk about BJP, I think BJP has been very lucky to have Narendra Modi ji as our leader. He calls the shots and he does the right thing. I don't think he's one man who's afraid of anybody. He's not afraid of doing the right thing in a stroke, and he has done it in the past, he has done it again. He takes the world by storm. Whether it is Europe, whether it is United States, there has always been some negative opinion shared in newspapers or magazines, as you said, or even on the television like BBC, where the coverage is more compassionate towards other countries rather than explaining what has happened in India. For me, the way I look at it is I couldn't be prouder of Mr. Narendra Modi, and I couldn't be prouder of being part of Overseas Friends of BJP here in America and supporting the party. I'm glad that a lot of people from Congress are joining in and have been joining, and our party is being strengthened. We have one example, Mr. Qazi right here with us. Allow me 2 minutes.
1 minute is what I allow because now this particular segment will continue the conversation in the later segment. But kindly, you did not address the question which I wanted you to say.
Right.
What will you do here? What we must do to address that?
I think what we need to do here specifically is that 370 is gone, 35A is gone. The ripple effects are going to be there, which is under discussion everywhere, including protests, what you said. We need to look towards the future. We need to see what is the impact. And I think if we have a discussion here, anywhere else, we need to focus on where do we go from here? What is the impact that this is going to have in the future? How is it going to change the life of people who have been out of Jammu, settled in the rest of India, wanting to now go back, the status having changed within Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh? How is education going to change? How is healthcare going to change? How is the industry going to change? How is residential properties going to change? Because the whole dynamic has changed.
We will talk about all this after this short break, but one of the biggest impact, in my opinion, that has happened is that country's leadership from Mr. Modi, Amit Shah and the entire cabinet, they have shown that tough policy decisions can be taken expeditiously in a smart way if leadership has good intent, has the right mind and has the right heart and understands the right timing for doing that. Here is an important part. Mr. Modi did not do this to win election. Think about that. It's very important part. The trust factor that Mr. Modi and Amit Shah team has generated in India and the world around us, if this particular step had been taken just prior to election, you would have been hearing rancor and shouting that to win election Mr. Modi has done it. No, he did it post-election. To talk about this and other matters, please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. Going back to the same topic of the impact and implication of this major step that has happened in the India, let's talk about us NRIs. What can we do? We have been very happy. Everybody is celebrating. If you are part of any WhatsApp group or any group that you are part of, you will see there is a celebration going on. But at the same time, the end of a problem, as they say in management circles, is the start of another set of problems. Nilima ji addressed to that we have to address healthcare, we have to address employment, we have to take about industrial growth. Now, what is going to happen, in my opinion, I definitely believe that Leh will become Switzerland faster than the pocket called Kashmir. Because that's where Trident Hotel already announced they're going to invest 1,000 crores to build a hotel. Kashmir had suffered. I mean, I was there in 1989, and my family and my work organization, we heard the first bullets fired in Kashmir that night in Srinagar. We were staying in Oberoi Palace. So I have a deep affiliation with Kashmir emotionally as well, because that's the place where the first time I touched snow. We saw snow. So there is a very personal story to that. And when the bullets were fired, I wondered what the hell happened there. From that point onwards, one thing we saw, there was nothing in Kashmir other than tourism and boats. The question is, everybody said that Kashmir was the Switzerland of India or Asia, but nothing happened. Switzerland, when you go to Switzerland, you will see how they have spent time to develop, protect their ecology, develop their scientific thing, mountains and resorts in the mountains. Why can't Kashmir become like that? So I sense that a lot of economic injustice that had happened in the name of Article 370, the funds going, nobody has done it. I'm saying it here for the first time. Agree, please tell me if I'm right or wrong, that there ought to be a CAG audit of how the grants were used in Kashmir and who became rich. I'll begin that with Nilima ji, because she came last. I will give the ladies first this time.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Nilima.
Well, two parts to your question. One, where did the money go? Yes, there has been a lot of misappropriation. Just like you talked about WhatsApp group, the WhatsApp group is also propagating where these CMs, even if they are no longer CMs, how they have spent money on their bungalows, on renovation, on collecting rent, on helping their family members, and this is kind of all unauthorized, unaccounted. Second part of your question, where you said, change that is going to come. Yes, if Trident comes in, other multi-level corporations come in, the face of Kashmir, Jammu will change. The challenge in those regions will change. Finally, they will start living the life parallel to probably the rest of the world.
Brilliant. Rakesh ji, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm going to divide the answer in three different parts.
Sure.
I'm a medical man. I believe in numbers. In disease treatment, everything is what percentage. And I'll give you a little idea about Kashmir and the numbers. The total population of India is roughly 1,200 million. Kashmir's population is 12 million, and out of that, 8 million are Muslims, which is 0.66% of the entire population of India. We have been fighting this problem for the last 70 years almost. For 0.66% population. Because of that, also we have had wars with Pakistan so many times, spent a lot of money, and what the mistake we made was our politicians never had guts to do anything. It took 65 years to repeal Article 35A. It happened in 1954. So what that shows is Indians have been paying attention to this problem for so long, but have not done anything at all. For 0.66% people, I would have given them some money, shut their mouth, and they would have been more than happy to vote for you. What Indira Gandhi did, what other Prime Minister did is inexcusable. Prime Minister Modi is the first man who has guts and he has vision, and he took the step which somebody should have taken. Now, what will happen in J&K, that's your main question. I don't want it to be Switzerland. My son lives in Switzerland. It's extremely expensive country. Actually, 90% people in Switzerland don't even own their own homes. This is a part of India.
My reference to Switzerland is only in terms of economic.
I know. I know
infrastructure
what you mean. I'm making it a joke.
Right.
People in Kashmir have been very naive, isolated, taken advantage of by their own politicians. What we need to do is spread the word that now you're part of India more openly. Before you were part maybe just on the paper. Please assimilate with the rest of the country. Development is coming. We just don't want it to be a tourist destination. It should be a destination where high education should be on the forefront, industries. They have people who make perhaps the best, qaleens in the world,
Craftsmanship.
all the dry fruits, and so many other things. If you look at the ancient history of Kashmir, a lot of writers, poets, Sanskrit scholars came out of Kashmir. All has been suppressed. These are not dumb people. They are very intelligent people. We need to bring them back to the level that they have been before they were suppressed. And that's the message we need to send them.
Thank you very much, because the ancient history of Kashmir, very few people know that it was known as a seat of Saraswati. And the way systematically it got destroyed. So, Junaid bhai, the question which I have, not the question, I don't like to use the word question, but the point which I want you to convey is that everybody knows that there were 2 or 3 people, political leaders in Kashmir, they treated the whole estate as if it was their zamindari. They became croropatis.
Right.
Even Kashmiris had no idea of what this whole thing 370/35A is. Here is a very interesting thing. I visit India very often. There is a Kashmir emporium with Kashmiri handicraft item all over the country.
Yeah.
But there is not any other from Bihar emporium or Uttar Pradesh handicrafts or Bengal emporium, any shop in Kashmir. How will they ever know that there are things happening elsewhere in the country that they can benefit from? That's one thing. So share with me your inside thoughts in this. What can happen? What must happen now?
आपका क्वेश्चन जो था एज ए NRI कि हमारा
Yes.
आंसर और हमारा विजन क्या होना चाहिए कश्मीर के लिए और हमारा मैसेज क्या होना चाहिए. राइट नाउ कश्मीर के साथ जो हुआ है वो एक शॉक एंड ऑ वाली सिचुएशन हुई है.
Okay.
बीजेपी स्टार्टेड दिस ऑन 2014, दैट वाज द मैनिफेस्टो के अंदर था. उन्होंने अपना रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट सेंटर के अंदर सेटअप किया कि भाई इसको किस तरह से 370 ला के ख़त्म कर सकते हैं. एंड दे वेरी मच सक्सेसफुल ऑन दिस थिंग. They what they said it, they in manifesto they achieved a goal. So congratulations for the Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah ji, very nice job done. Now the message is this: Kashmir was part of the India always from 1947, लेकिन कश्मीरी के साथ उनके दिमागों के अंदर एक ये था कि हम लोग डिफरेंट ब्रीड हैं, डिफरेंट सेटअप है. Now वो ख़त्म हो गया. अभी आप सोशल मीडिया के अंदर कुछ वाहियात लीडर्स, वाहियात ट्रोल चल रहे हैं कि साहब कश्मीरी लड़की के साथ शादी कर सकते हैं गोरी. ये चीज़ नहीं होना चाहिए. कश्मीर इज़ द पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया एंड जो लड़की की इज़्ज़त आप मध्य प्रदेश में करते हैं उसी लड़की की इज़्ज़त कश्मीर में होना चाहिए. ये वाहियात स्टेटमेंट जो कंट्री में चल रहे हैं कि साहब हम यहाँ पे दुकान लेंगे, हम कहा तुम साला अपने घर के अंदर दुकान बना नहीं सकते हो. तुम अपनी बातें कर रहे हो कि हम वहाँ ज़मीनें लेंगे. तो बस एक ज़मीन नहीं है यहाँ पे, लेकिन एक हाइप अप बदमाशी सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर चल रही है. कश्मीर इज़ द पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. हम किसी दूसरी स्टेट को बुरा नहीं बोलते, तो कश्मीर को क्यों बुरा बोलें. उन लोगों की इज़्ज़त होना चाहिए. जिस तरह राकेश भाई ने बोला कि वह मुस्लिम वुमेनों को सेकेंड क्लास सिटीजन, वो कम्प्लीटली गलत है. मुस्लिम वुमेन को जो राइट है वो हमेशा से इक्वल राइट है और अबव द मैन से है, तो कभी सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन वुमेन कभी नहीं रही। हाँ 35A के अंदर ये था कि मुस्लिम वुमेन अगर बाहर वाले से शादी करेगी तो उसको उस स्टेट के अंदर राइट नहीं है रहने का, या उसका वो पुराने ज़माने का चला आ रहा था। बट अब हमको, हमारी लीडरशिप को, हिंदुस्तान में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को कश्मीरी लोगों को बहुत प्यार से, बहुत संभाल के उनको अपने गले लगाना चाहिए। पूरे हिंदुस्तानियों को उनको गले लगाना चाहिए। अगर उनको अपने साथ करा है, इज्जत के साथ उनको अपने साथ करें। इससे ये ना हो कि जो कश्मीर में हो रहा है उसका एडवांटेज पाकिस्तान ले। अगर हमने उनको प्यार से, और कश्मीरियों के समझ में ये नहीं आया कि भारत सरकार उनके लिए अच्छा काम करेगी, डेवलपमेंट की बात करेगी, एजुकेशन की बात करेगी, रियल एस्टेट की बात करेगी, फाइनेंस उनके अच्छे होंगे, जॉबें होंगी, तो वो आपके साथ बहुत मोहब्बत से साथ में मर्ज हो जाएंगे, पता भी नहीं
चलेगा। You are so right about
लेकिन
that.
अगर हम बंदूक की जोर के ऊपर कश्मीर के अंदर जो पहले कर रहे थे वो अब करेंगे तो उसके ख़तरनाक उसके रिजल्ट हो सकते हैं। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी को सोचना चाहिए और अपनी टीमों को इस तरह से सेटअप करना चाहिए कश्मीर के अंदर कि भाई यू आर अस, यू आर द पार्ट ऑफ अस। 370 वो जस्ट इन द पेपर। यू आर इंडियन तब भी थे, तुम्हारे पास इंडियन पासपोर्ट था, अब 370 ख़त्म हो गया है, तो आपको हमारे साथ रहो और आपके साथ कोई भी बुरा काम करे उनके खिलाफ एक्शन होना चाहिए। इवन सोशल मीडिया के अंदर भी जो बदतमीज जाहिल आदमी बैठे हुए हैं।
Totally point taken and totally point understood, because there cannot be making fun of any situation. But the important part here is also to understand is that there will be ruffian items, elements, and you are rightly correct said about that, that if they are doing it, whether even if they are hiding their name and doing something, we must either ignore it or confront it. And I would prefer that instead of ignoring and allowing that to fester, we must snub it. We must shut it down. But the important part here again is that fact that Kashmir had become, the cultural identity. I've heard Pakistan Prime Minister talk about that Kashmir की identity खत्म हो जाएगी और ये इंडिया जो है पाकिस्तान को, मुस्लिम्स को suppress करने वाला है. That is a laughable statement. We will get to that right after this short break. Welcome back. We will talk about the impact of what Junaid Qazi was speaking about, that we must treat Kashmiris well. And that there should not be any gun battle. If we do that, then it will be lost. But there is a very important element. We have a neighbor which is remarkably napak. I call them napak nation, and that's my point of view. The government there has never meant well for India. Although in the international relations, it is said there is no permanent enemy, there is no permanent friend. It is the interests that drive the relationship. In the case of Pakistan, however, there is enough evidence to come to a conclusion that they don't mean well to India, because there is no desire for peace. Because if the peace happens, if Kashmir issue is resolved and settled, Pakistan becomes a marginalized state with no voice in the world politics. At the moment, they get hyphenated with India from time to time. So the Pakistan Prime Minister has said that don't forget a Bagalkot kind of thing can happen. Farooq Abdullah has said infiltration will continue. So there will be an army role or the police role in Kashmir area. And for that particular purpose, the people of India have to be careful that you don't mix with Pakistani propaganda. And how do we do something about that? You want to say something controversial? Go ahead, say it.
No.
How do we address that Pakistani interpretation? Because Pakistan is right now restless. They are throwing their hands and feet around because they know they have got marginalized.
नहीं, यहीं पे गलत है
Okay.
आप यहीं पे गलत
Tell me.
Right now the कश्मीर की situation more sensitive than the
It is?
कभी पहले नहीं हुई. अभी इतनी ज़्यादा सेंसिटिव है. अगर भारत सरकार ने उसको सही तरीके से कंट्रोल नहीं किया, means controlling means right now Eid परसों ईद है, now there is no phone, there is nothing, everybody is 144 और घर के अंदर है, तो that need to be open up. खुशियाँ मनाइए, रक्षाबंधन है, खुशियाँ मनाइए. अगर आपने सप्रेस करके रखा और जवान लड़के हैं, उनके दिमाग में इन्फिल्ट्रेशन पहले पाकिस्तान का ऑलरेडी घाटी में होता रहा है, तो अगर वो उन लड़कों को अपनी तरफ भारत सरकार ने नहीं किया और बंदूक के ज़ोर पे दबाना चाहा, तो उसके बहुत ख़तरनाक रिज़ल्ट हो सकते हैं. तो इसलिए भारत सरकार के साथ, भारत सरकार को उनको गले लगाना चाहिए, ओपन अप करना चाहिए, डेवलपमेंट की बात करना चाहिए, एजुकेशन की बात करना चाहिए, जिससे वो आपके साथ चले हमेशा.
Rakesh ji, he said, Junaid ji said many things that should happen.
Right.
What I'm saying is that what in terms of should, so many things should happen. Pakistan must leave India alone, and they should not, but they will interfere.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, as we all know now, the international community has completely ignored Pakistan.
Yes.
They are desperate. And where India has to be careful, and I agree with you on that count, is that Pakistan-inspired terrorism will not stop.
No.
How do we take care of that fact in Kashmir?
Again, three things. I think very first thing Mr. Modi has already taken care of. That is to corner Pakistan. There's no nation that stands next to Pakistan for the last few days since the Kashmir issue has come up.
Right.
Even UAE has said this was India's internal matter, and end of the story. USA has not even shown 5 minutes of televised program on Kashmir issue, and so is Europe except BBC. So as far as Pakistan is concerned, they have no friends. Number two, is Pakistan a fair country? Absolutely not. Will they stop tomorrow to send terrorists to India? Absolutely not. But what India must do is, before I finish my sentence, there's a little clip between a representative of China and United Kingdom came up on TV a few days ago,
Yep.
where a UK representative, a newscaster, asked this Chinese guy, hey, listen, what are you doing in Hong Kong? And UK has said, if you do not stop all this, UK will take a very strong step.
That's a hilarious one, and I saw that.
And China said, you know what, UK is in no position to take any step against us, and they should know how to talk to us with respect.
Yeah.
This is exactly where I'm coming down to my second point. India should tell Pakistan tomorrow, you are in no position to give us any threat, and next time you talk to us, talk with respect.
Right.
That's second point. Third thing is, what do we do to stop Pakistan from sending terrorists? Very easy. What does Israel do when 2 Palestinians attack Israel? India should have the same approach. You cannot be scared that 5 of your soldiers or 2 of your planes will be destroyed. Don't think that way. Number 3, take Kashmiri people in confidence, because now no terrorist should enter in Kashmir and be saved by Kashmiri people. So what do we do now? Tell them you are Indians and nothing else. And I don't think there's any Kashmiri, by the way, who would like to join Pakistan. Would you like to join a bankrupt country if you were given a choice?
No.
And I have a video where there was demonstration in Pak-occupied Kashmir yesterday. Thousands of Kashmiris in POK came out and they want liberation from Pakistan actually.
Right.
So Indian government really has to make a strategy that, do you want to be scared of a tiny country, bankrupt country, and all they can do is send terrorists, hit them so hard that they don't think of doing the same mistake again.
That brings me to the other question related to what Junaid and Sharma ji said. And that question is something that was told to me by my Pakistani friend. And since you are a BJP person, I am asking this question deliberately to you. Is that he said that आप हिंदू लोग बहुत शरीफ हैं, आप शांति के लिए कुछ भी करेंगे. Now, taking the cue from what Mr. Sharma has said, that we must shut them up respectfully and responsibly and forcefully.
Yeah.
That is required to be done. So, are we going to say, just as we let go of 96,000 soldiers, we did not negotiate on that?
Well,
like we have captured many territories and we let them go. I mean, Nehru's withdrawal and reference to United Nations is one of those lessons in harakiri, suicide. Why would you do that? I mean, that story is something we can cover. This 45 minutes or 1 hour is never enough to cover the whole story. But what will you suspect or fear that must not happen?
Well, your narration has a lot of points to it, so I'm going to do my little piece. First and foremost, taking cue from what our people have said, what you've said, I think Modi ji has not stopped at doing what is needed at the hour that it is needed, whether it is an airstrike, whether it is Pulwama to be taken care of, whether it was Pokhran, whatever. Those steps will be taken, and I think if they had planned this, you and me may not have known that it is going to be scrapped. But do you think the BJP, within closed doors, would not have taken everything into account? They definitely would have. So the impact with Pakistan, with the border, within the Muslim community in Kashmir, how it's going to impact the Pandit community, this has all been taken into account, and what we are going to see in future is, वो होता है ना कुएं का मेंढक जब वहाँ से बाहर आएगा तभी वो छलांग लगाएगा. And that is going to be the situation as far as I envisage the future of Kashmir, Jammu as well as Ladakh. They will see such a boom and such a difference in the community going forward that they will come out as a different community, and they will be more integrated, simply because एक होता है कि आप अकेले रह रहे थे अपनी जगह में, अब और लोग भी आएंगे, और लोग आएंगे, वो आपको जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ देंगे, आपकी कंट्री, आपके स्टेट को ज़्यादा सुंदर बनाएंगे. दैट इज़ गोइंग टू हैव अ ह्यूज इम्पैक्ट. क्योंकि ये जैसे किसी आपने कहा, ये उनको पता ही नहीं था ये 370 है क्या.
That's true.
जब इतने सालों तक उनको 72 years तक कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया, किसी ने बोला, they are a simple people, and if they were told to do one thing by the richer community, so to say, they just followed. If they were asked to throw stones for 500 rupees, that's what the youth was doing. Imagine if that youth will start going to school.
You are absolutely
and getting,
right.
No, there are two things I don't want to say. In addition, उनकी जो एक खासियत थी, before all this mess started, Kashmir was paradise. People were vacationing there. उनकी जो शातूश की शॉल्स हैं, बारीक से बारीक काम जाता है उसमें. अब आप जाइए वहाँ पे खरीदने के लिए, बहुत महंगी हो गई हैं. The real ones. You know why? Because the artisans who did this work have aged, and the younger generation is not learning this art because they are not making so much money out of it. That is why they have become so rare. The real ones. I'm not talking about the ones that are made in on a machine. Paper mache, woodwork, carving. These were their artistic values that they had. And like he said, poetry, book writing, tourism. Can you imagine if now something you were not able to do and a door opens and you know what, you can do it all over again. ये सारी इंडस्ट्री वापस आ जाएगी. और अब आप देखना, जैसे सड़क पे लोग हाथ में चीज़ें ले लेके बेचते हैं, टूरिज्म के लिए वो लोग बेचेंगे. मेरे हिसाब से, और ये मोदी जी के लिए को शत-शत प्रणाम है, ये अमित शाह को शत-शत प्रणाम है, ये स्टेप लेने के लिए कश्मीर, जम्मू चेंज होगा, और उसके साथ लद्दाख चेंज होगा, और इस चेंज के साथ हिंदुस्तान चेंज होगा.
I mean, the Hindustan change hoga is a big political part of it, but there is a dimension to that.
Yeah.
Because the dimension was that if somehow Kashmir, if we were to lose Kashmir, the disintegration of India was in the next stage of happening.
Yeah.
By this step, they have secured that the head is safe. Yeah. And that's what is important. So, Sharmaji, what according to you, if you were advising Prime Minister, what would you tell him that he must do? Like, for example, he brought about the parity in police compensation. which was never heard of. They were
Yes.
getting so much less. Per capita of Kashmir had fallen dramatically, then went up. How would you suggest that Prime Minister address that question in creating awareness? Because that's what is important. When people are suffering from ignorance or lack of information, what kind of PR and real spreading the message must happen from the Prime Minister's office?
Great question. First of all, thanks for elevating me as advisor to PM.
We all are through Twitter and Facebook. We all are advisors. So, and he reads them.
Sure. I think, like other panelists have already mentioned, Kashmir has a very rich culture, and we all know that. Only in the last 200-300 years they have been suppressed. So why don't we invest a lot of money in education in Kashmir? Just like in US, that you must finish high school, or till the age of 18 you must go to school. That should be number one criteria in Kashmir, or Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, that everyone must go to school till the age of 18, because education is the one that elevates people and makes them intelligent.
Correct.
So major funding and expenditure has to be there. Number two, they have been so isolated that they really haven't seen anything except whatever they see on their cell phones. Infrastructure, which Prime Minister Modi has already started few years ago. And number three, elevate them to a level where they do not think that they are less than any other Indian in rest of the country.
Yeah.
They should be at par. But of course, I just want to tell people who will be watching this program that nothing happens in a day, in a week, or in a year. It took us 65 years to repeal Article 35A. Don't expect in 5 years Kashmir will be at par with the rest of the country. It's going to take a generation. You start the work now, 20-25 years from today, you will see people who belong to Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh will be at the same level or maybe higher than the rest of the country.
Thank you very much. This program will not be complete if we fail to pay our respects to Sushma Swaraj. She passed away this week. In a remarkable turn of events, she was to send her last tweet to the Prime Minister that she wanted to see Article 370 go in her lifetime, and that she had seen that. And I believe her Atma will feel really relieved and happy when she reaches the God, or wherever she has reached the God. So Sushma Swaraj had become, I think, in my opinion, the most beloved foreign minister India had, external affairs minister India had ever seen. She had given visas to more than 35 or 40 Pakistanis to have medical treatment in India. And sad part was, Pakistanis made fun of it after her death. If you have any experience, I do not know that, if you want to pay a tribute to Sushma ji, which I had great pleasure of meeting her once, you know how it is. She was so affable, so easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Share your thoughts about and pay the tribute that you want to pay to her.
Yeah, I won't take much time, but I want to make 3 points.
And make it quick.
Yes. Number one, I had the good fortune meeting her and seeing her this last January in Varanasi. And number two, she was perhaps the best speaker in the last few years that India had. Her knowledge of Hindi and Sanskrit was above anybody else. And third thing that I kind of feel a little proud, her maiden name was Sushma Sharma. So being Sharma myself, I think that's another plus point.
Great, thank you. Junaid ji.
She was one of the best foreign minister India ever had. And I met her many times, like 4, 5, 6 times. Because she was the member of parliament from Vidisha, from my state. And I met her in Delhi also, and she knew me very personally. I mean, we had long conversation about the Congress when I was in the overseas president. Wonderful person, like the command in the Hindi and Sanskrit. And we definitely miss a good foreign minister for India, always remember her.
Any interaction? Your thoughts?
Yes,
Asif Madi?
of course,
Make it very
being-
quick because we are running out of time now.
Being with OFBJP, I've had a few interactions with her personally too, and otherwise meeting her in big forums. She was a very down-to-earth, very simple person, very elegant, very eloquent, and her smile said it all. She was very humble and really nice to talk to. She spoke extremely well, and I think she represented India very well. And all over the world, she has only made us proud. And I'm so glad you mentioned that tweet of hers, because that was a proud moment for her,
Right.
because she stood for it all along. And we talked about it several times. So I'm glad what happened, but wherever she is, God bless her soul.
Two other items which I must mention to you, that eventually the President of India accorded the honor of Bharat Ratna on Pranab Mukherjee, the former president, Bhupen Hazarika, and Nanaji Deshmukh. In addition, Junaid ji had mentioned earlier about Ayodhya case, Ram Mandir case. Supreme Court is hearing the case on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. Very interesting news. Prannoy Roy and his wife were not allowed to travel out of India, considering the charges that they are facing. And Mr. Arun Jaitley, we wish him well, speedy recovery. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, all of you, for taking the time
Thank
to
you.
come to us today in the ITV studio, frankly speaking. And I hope we spoke frankly, and we will keep speaking frankly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.